Hello and welcome back to another live with a very, very special guest today. We're incredibly excited to be joined by a really good friend of UltraX and someone who we're working with very, very closely at the moment, which is very, very exciting. We'll be talking a lot more about that once we go live with him and once he has joined, so I'll just wait for that. But we're going to be talking about our massive initiative, which is to attempt to run around the world, which seems completely mad right now, but I have every faith that our community will step up and get involved with this incredible initiative. It's all to raise money and awareness for Prostate Cancer UK. So it is really going to be an incredible effort if we can all pull it together. We'll be talking a little bit more about how you guys can get involved, what the cause is, who we're doing it for, and what it's going to take to clock up the number of many miles that we need to make up our run around the world. So we're just going to wait for Kev to come online and to join us for about 20 minutes just to have a quick chat with him about all that he's been up to, his number of incredible achievements that he's achieved, repeating my words there, over the last few years, and why it is that we are raising money and raising awareness for this incredible cause. So I'm just going to drop him a quick message, let him know that we are online, and hopefully he will be on very, very soon. One second. Perfect. But if you guys have any questions about how you can get involved, how your community can get involved, we need a lot of legs to make this happen. So if you're part of a running group or a triathlon group or any group, if you've got a big family, please do make sure you spread the word and get them involved with this, because it's going to be... Ooh, my laptop's on loud. It's going to be an incredible achievement, and we, as I said, need as many of you as possible to get involved, to join us, and to run around the world. That might be him coming on now. Bear with me. Maybe not. He did say that he had a call between 12 and 3, so hopefully he's not on the call now, and will jump online with us any second, because I don't want to talk too much about the challenge without him, because he's so incredibly passionate about this. He's rallied up his whole community, all of his troops, to get involved and to join us in clocking up the miles. So I want to leave the kind of real words to the man himself. I feel very fortunate to have run with Kevin last year. I feel like this year's been so weird. I don't know whether I'm talking about last year, the year before, this year. But last year at UltraX Jordan, he raced the same year as me. And he also spoke to us all at the end of the race, told us a little bit about him, which was absolutely incredible. And so amazing to hear his story. He really is such an inspirational man. And such a good friend of us, and a massive supporter of UltraX, and also someone who's done a number of other massive ultras. I am going to be asking him which one his favourite is during this live, so hopefully he says UltraX, but I haven't asked him to. So the jury is out. The favourite of races is up to Kev himself to share with us what that might be. Just going to check where he is. The beauty of 2020 and not being able to actually just do these lives with each other. It's going to be madness when I think I've done one with someone in this whole time. I think Ian was the only one I was able to do when I was with him, which just seems madness. This year has been so bizarre. It's meant I've had to do all of the lives, and I know everyone else has, so not complaining, but we've had to do all of our conversations from kind of opposite ends of the world, some of them at weird times to make that happen, and we haven't been able to bring our community together quite as many times as we would have liked to, but we hope that this virtual initiative will bring everyone together, and even though we can't run together You know, you can run with one other person, but even though we can't all run together as a group, hopefully it will bring everyone together over, as I said, raising money and raising awareness for an incredible cause, and hopefully achieving something massive. For you guys that don't know the numbers, it's 24,091 miles that we have got to cover as a community, which is a little bit mad. It's a big old number, but we're sure that with Kev's community, with your communities, with our communities, we can make it happen. We've got some incredible runners, obviously, as you know, on our team, who are able to clock up some big miles solo as well. So, but as I said, every mile counts here. Whether it's, I'll be walking quite a lot of the miles, which you can do as well if you're injured like myself, or if you're not really feeling like running on that day, why not go for a long walk? Every single mile counts as long as you put it into, as long as you sign up to the challenge and log it in Challenge Hound. You can put your Strava, link your Strava up with Challenge Hound as well, so you can make sure that all the miles you clock up, and you don't have to do it in just one run, you can do it over a number of runs. So if you want to do a run in the morning and a run in the evening, you could also do that. Whatever works for you, however you make it happen. We're very excited to bring everyone together and to clock up these miles. And hopefully Kevin will join us very soon. Oh, maybe that's him now. So that he can tell you guys about the run and I can stop blabbing on about it. But he's not come back to me just yet. Perhaps he's on his call. Bear with me 1 second. If anyone has seen Kevin and wants to tell him to come online, that would be fantastic, because he's currently not responding to, mind you, he's probably not getting my emails if he's on a call, but when he is on the live, which hopefully will be soon, we can answer all of the questions. You guys have sent in some lovely questions for Kevin, and oh, he's just messaged me. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, here we go. Is that Kevin? 1 second. He's just coming on now. I reckon 3 or 4 minutes and we'll have the man with us, and I can stop rambling to you guys, and Kevin can tell you all about his incredible story, his incredible journey, and why he's chosen, why he's partnered with us on this incredible mission that we have set to run around the world for Prostate Cancer UK. We're making progress. Hopefully he's going to join in just a second. I feel like I'm not having much luck with the old Instagram lives. Last week, the week before last, Instagram went down just as I was supposed to go live with the lovely Dora. Oh, I think this might be him. I've said this a few times, I know, but here we go. How is the planning for the Rainbow Run coming along? It's coming along amazing. We have had to cap that because we had so many of you wanted to join. So we'll be sharing more about that very soon. And I hope, Lewis, that you'll be there ready for your own 50-kilometer training. Hello! Hold on. Hello? I can hear you.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, hold on.
How are you?
Is that this way?
Yeah, that's perfect.
There we go. Right. There we go. Let me just put my headphones on because the sound's better.
No worries. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
That's better. I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
Good. I love that you got your Christmas tree in the background.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't. Yeah, did you? Look, Christmas tree, angel, see up a skirt. It's never a good thing for a girl.
That's all right. We're here for the entertainment, right? I'm not going to show mine. It's currently very rare because we thought we were going home, and then obviously we can't go home, so we had to go and get a last-minute tree. So it hasn't been.
Disaster.
What a disaster. Well, Kevin, thank you so, so much for joining us. And it's so lovely to see your face again. We've got lots of questions that have come in. And we're obviously going to be talking about the crazy, crazy adventure that we're hoping to complete on New Year's Eve, which is a bit bonkers, but that's kind of the spirit of Ultra X. So we'll start on the questions and hopefully get through them. So you're a fantastic friend of Ultra X, but our audience may not know too much about you. So tell us a bit about you.
Okay, my name's Kevin Webber. I'm ordinary guy, married, 2 kids, 3 kids. I thought, oh well, I just lost a kid there. Sorry. Three kids, 2 cats. Say 2 cats. I worked for NatWest for 38 years. Ordinary bloke, and then sadly, just over 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with terminal prostate cancer, and the oncologist said I might only live for 2 years. So after crying quite a lot and picking myself off the floor, I started running. Really, I already ran a bit. I used to run kind of 1, maybe 2 marathons a year. And that was it. I was busy at work, life was busy, so I didn't have much time to train. And when I got ill, I'd already entered the Brighton Marathon for April 2016, so April 2015 rather. And I was on chemotherapy, and I asked my doctor if I could run it. And he sort of laughed a bit and said, well, people don't run marathons on your kind of chemo with your cancer. And I said, but I want to do it. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, if you can train for it, you can do it. I think he thought he'd put me off by saying that. But on week 13 of chemo, I ran the Brighton Marathon in not great time. It was 4 hours 38. And then I got a snide place in the London Marathon 2 weeks later. So I know you should never ever run as someone else on the marathon. It's not right, but I did. I got a place, and I thought, hey, what are they going to do? Kill me? It was... I wasn't expecting at one stage to get pulled off the course by the police when they realised I wasn't the person I was supposed to be. But anyway, I ran that 2 weeks later in 12 minutes faster, actually. That was 4 hours 36. So I was pretty chuffed to do 2 marathons on week 13 and 15 of chemo. I then went and saw the doctor, and he said, oh, did you do the marathon? And actually I said I did 2, so he kind of was quite impressed, I think. And he then said, what are you going to do next? And I think he thought I was going to be doing sort of 10K park runs or 5K park runs and 10Ks. I said, well, there's this race I've always wanted to do. It's like the only thing on my bucket list. And he said, what's that? I said, well, it's called the Marathon des Sables. And when I told him what that was about, he kind of fell off his chair again. And looked at me and said, well, I'll tell you what, if you can train for it, you can do it. I heard that before. So I then spent the next, I had a year to train. Ran a lot. Got ill quite a lot. I lost all my immune system in hospital for a few days, but I still ran. I realised that even though chemo is pretty tough, actually running on chemo doesn't kill you. It just is harder work. So I was running less distance and slower. I did a couple of races along the way. Did Race to the Stones and a few other in the UK. The Pilgrim's Challenge was great. And then I got to April 2016, and by then, if you're me, I thought I was going to be dead pretty soon, and I was quite amazed I'd got that far. I was on some new drugs. They were kind of last chance saloon, but they were working. And so April, I got on the plane, never thinking I'd actually finish, but I wasn't worried about that, funny enough. I just wanted to be there, get to the start, and then that was my goal. Of course, I got to the start and I did it. I remember on the long day, which most ultras have a long day. So on the MDS, it's a double marathon, and it was day 4. I was about 25 miles in, and I was on my own, hot, blisters, shoulders were raw because you carry a pack. My pack was too heavy. It's always too heavy. I always take too many things, and I wanted to give up. I was in tears again, the usual sort of stuff. And I then thought, if I give up now, all I'm doing is proving to people that when life gets tough, you give up. And here was my chance to sort of prove to me. And I wanted to get home. I wanted the bling. I didn't want adulation from other people, but I wanted people to say, actually, you can do things when life is rubbish. And also, a lot of people have sponsored me, and I just felt if I went home early just because it hurt a bit, then I'd be a fraud. So anyway, so I finished the MDS. I think I came something like 560th out of 1,200 people. So, you know, I don't think that's bad for an old git with cancer. And then that was it. And then after that, I then just, it kind of fueled the fire really. And when you do one ultra, you then start to learn about the others, because I thought that was the only ultra that existed really. And then you hear about, you know, Ultra X, and well, it didn't exist then, but Ultra X, and I've done Fire and Ice in Iceland. I've done the 6633 Arctic Ultra twice. I've raced with Global Limits, do some great races. I've raced in Cambodia, Albania, Sao Tome, and of course I then heard about the Ultra X race in Jordan. So I did that a year and a half ago. Great race, loved it. Lots and lots of soft sand, more than they tell you. I have to say, they're a little bit sneaky on that. Lots of soft sand. But I finished that great, as always, you know, great people to run with, good atmosphere around the camp at night, and a real challenge. I loved the challenge of it. Unfortunately, when I finished, I got ill and I was in hospital a few days in Jordan. But actually, even that, when I look back, the people there were amazing. Someone from Ultra X came to see me to make sure I was all right, but the doctors were amazing. And so, whilst I'd never recommend being ill, I'd have to say, if you're really in Jordan, you haven't got to worry about it too much. The hospitals were really good, and got home. And then it was, in fact, it was a year ago, I think, today, that Ultra X started their, like an ultra online thing. Little did they know about coronavirus, but like a virtual event where the idea was to run 100 kilometers in, I think it was 8 days of Christmas or something. Anyway, so I started that, and I ran that. And then, of course, I was lucky. In February, I managed to do a race called Pilgrimage Challenge with another running company. And then I did a race in Sao Tome. So it's a tiny island country off the coast of Africa in February. And the finish line's on the equator, which is pretty cool. Cool place to finish. And then, of course, coronavirus kicked in. But after I finished the event with Ultra X, I kind of kept on running every day. You know, people have that red January, run every day January. And I thought, well, why stop? So I kept on running. And then, of course, coronavirus happened. And everything's cancelled, which is a bit of a pain. And I was due to go back to the MDS for my 5th time. I was already the only person with any T4 cancer to run that race 4 times. And it was my 5th time. And I could see all the people online getting miserable about, you know, the race is cancelled, and I've trained for it. And I remember it was like the Wednesday before the race was supposed to happen. And I just thought, I can do it in my back garden. So I actually raced the MDS in my back garden. So I did 250 kilometers, exactly the same format as the previous year. So, you know, round and around my back garden. So I ran 2,600 laps in my back garden. It wasn't as hot, but it was just as hard work mentally and physically, because I got loads of blisters and stuff, because my back garden actually has 19 bends to do one lap of my back garden. So, you know, 19 times 2,600 is a lot of bends. So different bits of my legs started to hurt that don't normally hurt on races. I managed to get on BBC Breakfast and raised loads of money. So I think I raised about 32 grand on that one event, which was cool, because I never raised that much before on one event. And then I just kept on doing stuff. I tried to run 100 miles in a day, which I failed. I only got to 78 miles in 17 hours, and then just couldn't go anymore. But, you know, when you can't do races, and I love races, I entered the Ultra X. There's that Challenger, I think it was 8K, 14K and 16K every other, and that was great. It was just a great motivator to stay fit. And I just kept on creating my own ones, because whilst you can enter all these races online, actually you just create your own stuff to keep yourself going, and then you pick the ones online that you really want to do. I'm currently I'm involved in one at the moment, which is 3,600 kilometres. I've only got about 700 to go now, so that's cool, running Route 66. So, but it's kept me going. And one of the things I love about running virtual races, and so we'll come on to what's hopefully going to happen, what will happen in a few days' time, is that every K counts. So if you think normally you go out training and it's a bit of a miserable day, one, you might not bother going out, but two, let's say you're doing a 10K lap and you're 2K from home, or you can cut a corner and get home in like half a K. you might think, oh, I'll cut that corner. But when it's a virtual event and it's a challenge, so every K counts, you don't cut it 2K short. In fact, you don't even run the 10K you were going to run. You run 12K instead. You add 2 more K to it because every K counts. So today is my 365th day of consecutive running. Started thanks to Ultra X last year. Yeah, I'm well chuffed. I didn't, if you're me, I didn't think I'd be alive in a year's time because I'm still terminal. I still have terminal prostate cancer. I didn't think I'd be alive. I didn't think my legs would put up with it. There's been days when it's been really hard, and all I've managed, the shortest distance I've done ever is 2K. The longest I've done is 125K. I average 11K a day. But it's been great. It's been a reason to get me out of bed. It's a reason to eat healthily. It's a reason just to live, I guess, and get out there when everyone was saying, oh, isn't COVID terrible? And it is terrible. But actually, it's just about, getting out there and enjoying life and meeting people and saying hi and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm really pleased to be here today. I've run about 4,200 kilometres in the last 12 months, which again, I never ever thought I'd do healthy, let alone ill. So yeah, for anyone that's got a bit of a bad mojo at the moment, they're upset about what they can't do, I keep on saying to people, it's not about what you can't do. We can all look back and say, I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. And you can look forward and say, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. But I'd say to just get those thoughts out of your head and say, what can you do? Because
Absolutely.
what you can do is you can still run if you're able to. And if you can't run, you can walk or cycle or row or do some kind of exercise sitting in your chair if you've got some other problem with you. But what you really can do is enter an event in conjunction with Ultra X and myself. Woo, woo, woo. And that is run around the world with Kev.
With the man.
Yes, well, hey. So run around the world with Kev is something that was devised by my good friends at Ultra X. I kind of fine-tuned it a bit because they wanted to do it, I think, Christmas Eve, and then they wanted to do it on Boxing Day, and I said, no, do it on New Year's Eve, because New Year's Eve this year will be a day when, sadly, people probably aren't getting together, and it's not like Christmas Day when you have the big turkey and stuff. But there's a really good twist to this, and the twist is that you can run or walk any time when it's New Year's Eve somewhere in the world. And so I understand that starts at 10 o'clock a.m. on the 30th of December, and it ends at midday on the 1st of January. And what that means is, for anyone living in GMT world, we can actually run for 3 consecutive days. So you can go out on the 30th and bang in a few miles and do it again on the 31st and again on the 1st of January. And I say, what a great way to start your streak. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get rid of all that excess of Christmas. And I hope you still have a good excess Christmas because, hey, it's still Christmas and we still should be having too much turkey or whatever your vegan alternative is, and beer and all that sort of stuff, yeah. And then you can start to run or walk and start to get fit again. And of course, because the last day is January the 1st, you can actually get up early on January and bang out a few miles there as long as you're finished by midday. So,
absolutely.
Exactly, absolutely. And personally, my current aim, I'm involved in a little challenge at the moment which ends on Christmas Eve, and then I'm going to rest for 4 days. So I'm still running every day, and a rest day would be 2K. So I'm going to do 2K, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and whatever. And the plan is I'm going to try and run 3 marathons. That's the challenge. So I'm going to try and run a marathon on the 30th, a marathon on the 31st, and then a marathon on the 1st of January. And, I don't know about anyone else, but when I've spent New Year's Eve on my own, or so on my own with my wife, we tend to go to bed early because, there's nothing worth staying up for. I had enough of Hoopman to last a lifetime on TV. And there's this little bit in my head that says, if I go to bed early on New Year's Eve, like 9 o'clock or something, then maybe I get up at midnight and I can bang out a marathon starting at midnight. And what a way to start the year with a marathon. I mean, there's no better way. And I'm being honest, I'm not a fast runner, so that marathon may well take me 6 hours. But hey.
A marathon's a marathon.
Exactly. And it's 26.2 miles more about running around the world. And so, hey, if I'm going to try and get everyone else to sign up, and I've got to lead from the front. And hopefully there'll be people better than me that are going to say, Kev, I'm going to run 50k every day. Well, I would love to hear about those people, but personally, I'm going to try and run 42k every day for those 3 days. And hey, and just like the MDS, my first one, if I don't manage it because my body says no, that's the way it goes. But if you don't put your foot on the start line, you're never going to finish, are you?
Absolutely.
So you've got to start.
Exactly, and so many people will be so inspired by what you're doing and hopefully get involved with the challenge themselves. So if people do want to get involved and do want to join you, they don't have to run a marathon a day. I myself have been injured, unfortunately, so the first day, hopefully, I'm allowed to run. That's 29, so I'm going for about a mile a day. Fingers crossed. But
That's
you can
okay.
run for whatever you need to do. So how do people get involved? How do they start miles?
So if you Google UltraX, you'll find the event, but it's hashtag Run the World with Kev, Run Around the World with Kev, and yeah, it costs you £5, unfortunately, but all that £5 generously from UltraX goes to Prostate Cancer UK. So it all goes to charity, and you know that is my favourite charity. Personally, I raised about £300,000 for them since I've started fundraising 6 years ago. And if we can get, with my friends from UltraX, if we can get another £5,000 or £10,000, that's great. And actually, I want to get to £10,000 because if it's £5,000, everyone's got to run a marathon, and that's hard work. Whereas if it's 2,000 entrants, that gives us 10 grand. 2,000 entrants means we can all do half a marathon. You might go, I can't run that far, but you've only therefore to do 4.5 miles a day, and you can walk them. Remember, you haven't got to run. I'd like you to run them, but walking's good as well. So everyone can walk 4.5 miles a day. If I said go shopping and it's 4.5 miles, I'd be, I can do that. So therefore, you can do 4.5 miles a day. And what better way to spend New Year's Eve and New Year's Day morning?
Couldn't agree more. And if you've got a dog, attach the dog to your dog, get the dog to clock up miles. We're not fussy how you do it. All we need is those incredible miles to go towards this incredible cause. So we've also got questions come in a pit too, I think. You might call, and also 30 minutes with you, or a bit less, 25 minutes. So we've had a few questions come in from some of our audience, some who know you and have run with you as well, and Jordan, which is lovely. So someone has asked, how has dad life changed for you since the diagnosis?
How was dad life? Do you know what? It's the same or better, because I think they probably meant daily life. I think it's probably better, and whilst no one would wish to have cancer, and I don't, I wish I never had it, what it does is it makes you realise that life is precious, and you can't sit around being miserable. There's no point sitting around being miserable. It doesn't achieve anything. So when I was first diagnosed, I was walking across Trafalgar Square, and in chalk there was written, you only have 2 lives, and the second one starts when you realise you only have one. And that's the whole point. We only have one life. So you just have to get on with it. And, you know, I promise people on their deathbed, they won't sit there and go, oh, I wish I spent more time watching the X Factor, and I wish I spent more time being miserable or sad or not talking to my family or friends. But you might say, I wish I'd gone out and done more good. I wish I'd gone and met more people, breathed more fresh air, visited more countries, run more UltraX races. That's what you might wish.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you believe me, then why would you sit and be miserable? And hence, that's why, you know, and of course I'm biased, but that's why the event on New Year's Eve is fantastic, because, you know, what else are you going to do? If you'd have been bored of telly by then, you'd have done all the box sets you want to do. So just go outside and do something. And remember, it's still okay to exercise with one other person. So what mate have you got? What family friend have you got, you know, that you haven't seen? Nothing stops you driving within your zone within your tier, to someone you know, and then having a chat and a walk around with them. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You just can't go in the house or their car, but you can walk with them or run with them, and that would be a really good way to do something that's good for you and good for Prostate Cancer UK as well.
Absolutely. And like you said, yes, there's so many things we can't do right now, but there's also so many things we can do right now. All of those things we can do with it. So, final question before I leave you to get on with your day. hopefully enjoy a nice week in the run up to Christmas and prepare, obviously, for 3 marathons in 3 days. But what is coming for you in 2021?
Okay, so in an ideal world, I will be doing 3 marathons in 3 days. I'm currently entered in the Spine Race or the Spine Challenger in January, but do you know what? They haven't called it off yet, but I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to do it not because I'm not fit enough, as I've trained, I've got all the gear, but I don't actually personally think, and people can shoot me down for this, I don't think it's morally right on the 10th of January for me to travel to the Peak District and then do a race where, even though it may be socially distanced, there's so many potential risks of me having to be with other people, and right now it's not about that. So whilst I'd love to run it, and if you're me, I might not get the chance to do it next year for a whole bunch of reasons, but I don't think it's the right thing to do. So I won't be doing that. But in February, at the moment, there is Pilgrimage Challenge. I'd like to do that if it's on. I've already entered the MDS again, so hopefully that'll be on. I've got a race in Bhutan I've entered in May, which was cancelled this year, so I'm hopefully going to Bhutan in May. And in July, one of my favourite sort of budget races is called Al-Andalus in Spain, and I'll be going there. But you know what? If COVID stops all of those happening, there's no point getting sad about it. Of course, I wish that happened. I don't want COVID to still be around, which is why I don't think we should do the Spine Race, because I think people should actually spend the next month just battering the hatches and stopping the spread. But if it is all off, I'll just find other events to do, and I'm sure UltraX will organise another virtual race of some sort. So I'll do that, and I'll just keep running around my garden or around my streets, or go as far as I can safely and clock up those miles, and maybe set myself a challenge for 5,000k in the next 12 months rather than the measly 4,100 I managed this year.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin. I'm so excited to follow your 2021, no matter what happens. You are such an inspiration to so many people, including myself, the whole of the UltraX team. And we're so excited, sure, to welcome you back to another race next year. And if not that, see you in our virtual challenges leading the way for the next week in the lead up to this challenge. We are going to be rooting to get every person involved, whether they want to walk or run. And I know you'll do the same. And we're so excited to raise both money and awareness for a challenge that's so close to your heart. So once again, thank you so much for believing in us and our community, and for inspiring us so much. And hopefully I'll see you very, very soon.
Indeed. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Have a lovely rest of the day.
Yeah, nice Christmas.
Bye. You too.
Bye.
Bye.